peace and harmony. I think we're being set up for something very serious and very big by some very powerful secret societies that very well could have extraterrestrial or otherworld intelligence guiding it. I am very fearful for the world we live in because we bought it hook, line, and sinker, and all over the world we have accepted the authority as truth rather than truth as the authority. It is going to require intellect, knowledge, study, and making a stand for the first time not to accept the things which your government gives you, which your religions give you, and which the authorities give you. Because as far as I'm concerned, I have a very big problem with anyone called an authority, because they're always...
All right, Truth Seekers, it is Friday, and I want to welcome each and every one of you here. Hopefully you have shared this video. It's going to be a great night. We've been talking about it all week long, and Brother Yosef is going to be here with us. In fact, he's already in the studio. We'll be talking. Him and I is going to have a conversation tonight. We're going to have a conversation about symbolism, and we're going to incorporate the magic stuff. And y'all know he know his stuff and pretty much. But anyway, for those of you here, let me get ready to get us going a little bit so we can do what we got to do. Truth Seekers. All right. It's Friday night. I want to welcome you here to Roderick Martin, Truth versus Authority. You could have been any other place tonight, but you chose to be right here, right now. And with that being said, I'm going to serve you. And before I do that, I'd like to bid you good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the 24 time zones that this show is airing right now. And I want to give you a backstory. I'm located in the Jumbo State. This is where those UFOs come out to play. It's a Texas thing, y'all. And everything in Texas runs big. Hey, I'm telling you. But in the meantime, put the children to bed because what we talk about is not PG. When you have a fixed dinner, get your syrup, get some eggs, some bacon, whatever. Breakfast at night is really good. We're going to go hard tonight. We're going to talk about the mystery. We're going to talk about the secret. We're going to talk about the esoteric things that you need to use. So in the meantime, I'm ready for you. I know you're ready for me, and I'm excited. Give a shout out to my moderators that are all in the chat tonight, handling their business. So anyway, let's chill out. Yes, we're back. This is our classic intro if you're new here tonight. So, all right, I'm ready if you're ready. So get things together. Get you some notes out because it's going to be impactful. Get everyone you know right now. Again, get them on the video. Share it, and let's roll. All right. Yeah, I'm hyped. Hang on, I'm getting it all ready for you. Not a DJ tonight. It's just conversation. I'm gonna get my boy in here real quickly with us right now, since we know we're gonna be talking. And you know what? First of all, welcome, my brother.
Thank you for having me, brother. Hey, glad to be here.
You know what? It's a thing that I think that it's not about just having you here. I think, you know, as far as you and I have forged our relationship, our brotherhood, and a commitment, you know, and I think that's a strong thing when people understand that when people make a commitment, and that commitment is not only to grow together, also to collaborate and also to learn and teach from each other. And I think that's something that's pretty powerful, having that circle together, because oftentimes we may have large audiences, but at the end of the day, it's that close-knit circle that I think is important. So I want to appreciate you for being in my circle and also allow me into yours and your family and everything else.
Absolutely.
All right. So before we get started, I'm going to, for those of you, if you new and here, I'm of course Roderick Martin, and TV personality. And if you can find me, or what I would tell you right now, Google me and then hop back on. But if you don't, you know, I've been in 11, 12 different TV shows, 11 when it comes down to the UFO, aliens, paranormal, and everything else. You can find me on Ancient Aliens History Channel, from Gaia to Regina Meredith to George Norrie to a show on Fox Tubi. I hosted a show on Discovery Plus channel, and the list just goes on, Amazon, and you name it. It all led me down to where we are today, aka the Symbolizer, because no matter where we are, whether it's aliens, extraterrestrial, government entities, Illuminati's, elite groups, it all leads back down to ancient symbols and symbolizing these things for you. And that was one of my journey, how I reached out to this guy. And, I sent him an Instagram message and, blah, blah, blah. It took him a little while to come back. And then he's like, hey, man, I watch your stuff too. I'm like, well, shit, I watch your stuff. So, blah, blah, blah. He invited me down to Houston to one of his tribal events and gave me the hospitality there, man. And I met some of the great people, his tribe, his family. And I'm going to tell you something, put me up in a nice hotel. He was like, brother, we're going to just come down. I got you. And from that day forward, from the energy and everything else. So I want you, for my audience and those who don't know you, tell them a little bit about your background, brother, and we will kind of go from there.
Yes. Greetings, everybody. Greetings. So I go by the name Brother Yosef. And for those who know me, I started on YouTube around 2018. And, I had you can call it a spiritual experience in 2006 that woke me up forever. And I met my higher self in 2006. And from that point forward, I just started moving, studying spirituality, studying the occult, studying metaphysics. And I started my YouTube channel in 2018. And when I started it, it just took off bigger than I thought it would ever take off. I really didn't expect people to want to listen. I didn't think anybody would want to hear anything I had to say. That's always how it's been. I just been the regular guy. So, but little did I know from the years of study, people were grabbing at this stuff, and I learned that I can explain it in a way to make people understand it. So I continued. I took a little break last year in 2024, but I'm back in 2025, and I'm here, and I'm grateful, family. If you guys ever want to contact me, you can go to newlifetools@gmail.com. My YouTube channel is New Life Tools on YouTube. New Life Tools. I also have another channel called New Life Tools Forever, but New Life Tools is my main YouTube channel. I'm also a tribal chief. I'm a chief of the Kiowa Sasalagi tribe. And we have land. We're growing. We're prospering. And we're doing a great work. It's a beautiful community. There's beautiful people in the community, and I'm just grateful for everything that's happening. We just had our second annual event, and we're looking forward to having our third annual event this year. So, I relocated to Houston, Texas, family, back in 2022, and everything has just been beautiful, family. So, that's my story.
Well, that's his story. He's sticking to it. And yes, he's in Houston. I went down there, like I said, met some incredible people, there at his event, again, tribal members and just other folks as well. It was just a great time. So let's get down into our conversation, my brother. Yes. First of all, we can hit just a little bit on this stuff that's happening in California. You got these fires. We already know what happened in Hawaii. And then we'll tie this back into the symbolism of everything that's going on today. Okay. What are your thoughts now when we are now seeing these fires and many down talk or behind the scenes talk? It was deliberate. It's done by that same thing that they used in Hawaii. What are your thoughts over that? Or have you been keeping up with that? Because I know this wasn't our plan talk, but
Absolutely. One thing about me is that people who I know, people who I never met before, people that's on my Patreon, they constantly send me information all day long. So if I don't, then my wife is she's big on conspiracy theories. My wife is big on UFOs. She's big on metaphysics. So somebody's always letting me know what's happening because I'm usually in the creative zone. I'm not really paying attention to everything, but I'm getting text messages and calls, and the wife's letting me know. So I heard about the fires, and everything that I look at and everything that I approach in life is always with a spiritual perspective. You know what I mean? And I believe that everything is a reflection. It's a ripple effect, right? So if you see wildfires in California, something is happening in the astral plane. For those who know me very well, they know I'm big on dreaming, the astral plane. I get a lot of my information from there. And I believe that what we're seeing is a reflection, a ripple effect of things that are changing, right? There's big change happening. There's big transformations happening. Now, one thing I would say that's happening that I've never said before on any channel, you guys know I'm really big into heaven states and hell states and anything to do with the supernatural, right? Because I visited these places. I've had experiences. They're in my book, the book of Brother Yosef. They're in my book. And about maybe 6 to 7 months ago, I said this to my tribe, and I said it to the Patreon members. I said, hey, there's people leaving hell states. Now, what do I mean by this for those who don't know what I'm talking about? I'm not saying I believe in a hell so per se. What I'm saying is your consciousness that you have can put you in a negative. If you spent your life being a serial killer, you're not going to a good place when you die. The place you're going to go is the place that your consciousness has been on. You're going to go to a place with the same consciousness vibration that you have. If you're a person that don't believe in anything, you're an atheist, you just don't believe in anything, you're going to go to a place there's nothing. Now, you'll be recycled so you can evolve and grow, because that's the goal. Creator wants us to evolve and grow spiritually. But for those who have done the work and evolve, you don't go to heaven for being a nice person. I want to make that very clear. Higher heavenly states for evolved beings. They're for people who have done the work, people who have mastered themselves, and people who are ready to grow. That's what that's about, family. So I've been about 6 to 7 months ago, I told my tribe in our private network, and I told the Patreon members, I saw people leaving hell states. And what does that mean? That means that people are not being reincarnated back on this earth anymore. People are now being reincarnated on parallel universes, parallel worlds. They're not coming back here. Jamie Foxx family just did a stand-up comedy special. It's on Netflix right now. If you don't believe me, go watch it. He died. He said when he had his little sickness thing that happened earlier in 2024, he said he literally saw death's tunnel. And he said he saw the tunnel, but there was no light. There was no light there. And what have y'all been telling y'all for the past 2 years? You don't see the light no more when you die. I've been telling people that. So what does that mean if Jamie Foxx would have died? That means that he would have never came back to Earth. That light you see, family, is for people who come back to planet Earth and they get recycled here. People are still being recycled, but you're not being recycled here. So what would have happened? He would have saw a different type of light if he would have waited a little bit longer, and that different light would have took him somewhere else. But the light that people see, that tunnel that brings you back to the birth canal, people don't see that anymore. So I'm saying all that to say these wildfires is a reaction to what's happening in lower realms, right? And there's a fighting going down there. There's fighting, there's things happening, and people are being recycled. This planet is going to a higher dimension, a higher vibration, whether people want to believe it or not. Told you guys the ETs were coming. Congress done pretty much admitted it. The government done pretty much admitted it. The UFOs been popping up, and those who've been following for years know that everything I've been saying is becoming true, right? So I'm telling you guys, if you guys can handle what I'm saying, because I know sometimes I can say stuff that's beyond people belief or understanding, everything is changing, family. The whole vibration. The higher realms are changing. The lower realms are changing. And the beings that are coming back now, these beautiful children, are higher evolved beings. I just put up a video, and if I keep going too much, brother, just stop. Once I get going to this passionate level, I just start, you know. So 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 yeah, I told you guys all these things are going to happen. So and I forgot my train of thought, but that's okay. So that's what I think is happening with these wildfires. It's a distraction without a shadow of a doubt, but it's also a sign that one area, and we know Hollywood and certain parts of LA is very demonic, very low level, especially places like and I just went there for the first time, Las Vegas, horrible energy. And then you got places like California, Los Angeles, the city of angels. You guys need to go watch a TV show, a movie called Constantine, City of Demons. Constantine, City of Demons, where the city of Los Angeles literally became real to him and was trying to help him save the city of Los Angeles. From who? From demons. So I want you guys to go watch that. I think that what's happening is a distraction from our spiritual growth. And it's a symbol, it's a sign, but some symbols can be used to distract you. So that's what I think about those fires, man.
Well, you got that right. I mean, I think that we are now entering the Aquarian age, or we have, and that, you know, it may shock some people, is the kind of the end of Christianity, so to speak, because Christianity is the Piscean age, the fish. And supposedly I was reading a book that was written by Alexia Crowley or whatever, I forget his name. And he talks about, of course, when you talk about Demantra, you talk about the numbers, the Bible written on 26 letters, the numbers, all of this stuff. He's now saying that because we're going into the Aquarian age, we're in a reversal. So that is a shock. And he said there's going to be 2 new religions that, and like I said, this is just what I've read. I'm just telling the audience and those of you, I'm not going against Christianity. I'm just talking about it. But he said that there's going to be 2 new religions, and one in particular is going to be climate, which we see what's happening now with these fires and all of that. And he said the other one is going to be where men and women want to kind of exchange, where, and he said that but he called it religion. So in other words, it's going to be something more accepted in everything else. But it's because now we are entering into the Aquarian age. And if you all go religious, you can kind of go into when they talk about the Aquarian, holding the water, and he tells the disciples, go look for the person there. So having said that, yeah, we have a lot of challenges happen. So we've already had the prime minister back in Israeli when Trump was in office said that the ETs said it's now time for them to reveal themselves or us to get them to be accepted. Now, the thing about this, brother, is that there's more than just one species of extraterrestrials. And I think so there's good ones, there's bad ones, there's all these different things. And the thing is, who is really running this stuff? Or, where we got reptilian talk, or whether we have, some type of Palladians, or whether it's some Nordics, whether it's, the list just goes on and on and on, but it all comes back down to ancient symbols, symbolism, the conversations, and like you said, now the fires, what happened, and it was kind of weird, but even when they did the Hawaii, they make sure that all the elite people painted their houses blue, the roof. Now, at that time, I didn't really think too much about it until I incorporated blue into my protection and understand it's a water symbol, the color and all of this stuff. So could they have been using ancient magic to say, we're putting water on top of our houses so none of these catch fire, or none of the lightning or whatever the thing there was hit, or maybe it could have been a satellite signal. But now when you started seeing how these things are spreading, and then there was some video surface, I'm not sure the legitimacy of it, that there's now fires in New York now. It's like, what? Okay.
Oh,
but
wow.
the thing about it is this, though. There is something higher at work. And I think the timing of our conversation, and then let you all know this, we're going to talk again next Friday, because it's kind of a 2-part thing. And then we're going to, do some big stuff. So I'll make sure y'all come both times. The whole point is that the timing it is now, I think, and it's bigger than what people can even imagine. And it's more magical season now, esoteric season now. And all of the things now people need is to find that protection. And that's somewhere we're going to go with this conversation tonight, because now that I've been going more and more into symbolism, and not just visual symbolism, not just the stuff that they're using to alter our minds and mind control, it is going deeper and deeper, that it is probably the most significant ancient protection and knowledge that everyone should be knowing and also implementing them. And of course, we'll cover some of that tonight, some strategies that you'll give some people. But let's talk about symbolism. And it can go in a lot of different directions. It can go with the basics of, somebody putting something on the board that just represent water. That is a symbol. But then we're talking about ancient language that before we even had the spoken word, what did they use? That's why when you go to these pyramids, we got ancient hieroglyphs. We got all of these symbols that they can have that meant everything. And it was nothing. It wasn't just a archaic thing. This symbol meant bird. One symbol spoke 1,000 words. It told a story. It tells just about everything. And I use this now. We have a couple of hundred people in here. If we all was in a room and it went dark and there was an explosion and everybody screaming, and all of a sudden a lighted arrow shows up, I guarantee you everybody's running without talking to the arrow. Even though there's a cliff on the other end. Right? Or somebody stands there at the cliff and do this. Don't say a word. What do you think everybody do? Well, there'll be a few crazy ones run around them and fall off the cliff, but there'll be some that may stop. So let's go into the power of symbolism in the real world, what we're up against as we driving around on a daily basis.
Yes. So I think the deepest thing about symbolism in the real world, and this is something I think a lot of people overlook, is that anything could be a symbol, like you said, right?
Yeah.
But one of the deepest things about symbols is that it all comes down to a frequency. Okay. So if you understand frequencies as well, you can literally take a picture of a frequency and that same energy will vibrate through your house or vibrate through the environment, right? So like you said, this can stop motion. It's just a symbol. Somebody holding up their hand like this, and magic, we call it mudras, for those who don't know, right? But just somebody doing a mudra like this, some people say stop, right? And this is a mudra, by the way, to stop negative energy, right? You'll see a lot of the Buddhas with their hands up like this, right? So being that vibrations can relate to symbols, now you're getting, when you get into vibrations and symbols, you get into deeper aspects of nature. Let me give you guys a story, that's something that just happened to me recently. So I've never been in a tornado in my life, right? So, but recently, about 2 weeks ago, about 2.5 weeks ago, all of a sudden I'm sitting home and they're saying Houston, 3 tornadoes coming this way. And I'm like, whatever. So then mama calls and mama's like, yeah, you better, y'all better start. So as soon as I hang up the phone with her, the house started rattling. The wind started picking up. The side of the windows is shaking, And I love the way the houses are built down here, because it's weird, because the houses are built was that, like where I'm from, you could see somebody's living room from their front window. But down here, the way the houses are built is like you see a lot of the windows and stuff are on the side of the house. You may have one window in the front, right? So the wind's just blowing, boom, boom, boom. And it got so bad, my wife and my daughter ran into the bathroom, right? They said, I'm going to the bathroom. Before I decided to even join them, when my thing is, before I pray, I always try to use magic, right? And if I can't do nothing, then I call on the higher force. That's my opinion. So what I did, family, I just told people in my cyber sorcery about this frequency generator you can buy, right? I got mine constantly hooked up to a speaker. So I went upstairs, y'all, and I played 528 hertz frequencies, and I blasted it. I turned it all the way up. I played 528 hertz frequencies, and I would say within a matter of about 3 to 4 minutes, all the wind stopped. And come to find out, the tornado that was coming towards us, it went the other way. The tornado ended up going the other way. Now, why do I say that, and why did I do that? I was giving the tornado a sign, right? That destruction frequency you're trying to bring doesn't belong here. There's a love frequency here. There's a higher frequency here. There's a guy you guys can watch. His name is called Dan Winter. I told you guys about this guy before. He is probably one of the best people out there on sacred geometry and how to use sacred geometry and how these things work, right? And he's the one that made me realize that many, many, many years ago. Probably, like he said this back in like 2019 or something. I was studying his stuff. And he talked about how shamans could steer tornadoes with a vibration. Just by feeling a vibration, they can feel a vibration so deep. Vibrations are symbols, family. They can feel a vibration so deep until they can actually command their tornado to leave, right? So as I played that frequency, I just believed in my heart that the tornado wasn't coming this way no more. And it took about 3 to 4 minutes, and all the rattling stopped. The wind stopped blowing, and my wife was like, "Oh, that was it? What happened?" I don't know what happened at that moment. Went on the news that night, and I felt bad because I don't want to say it's my fault, you know what I'm saying? But I felt bad about it later. But 2 people died, you know what I'm saying? People who wasn't expecting a tornado to come to them, 2 people end up dying. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I didn't create the tornado. All I did was send it away from my family, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that you guys can use if you're ever, that's a symbol, right? Remember, frequencies are symbols. That's something that you guys can use to if you're ever getting a really bad tornado or something coming towards you, you can raise the frequency in your area by using frequencies, and that will send a symbol or a message to the tornado. Stop, and it went the other way, family. My wife is my witness of this. You know what I'm saying? So so that's what I want to say. Since we're talking about symbols, we got to understand on a deeper aspect. Even when you're talking about language, you're talking about like Brother Roderick Martin talked about that. The ancient symbols and languages. I just created my own language. Now, why does my language work for me? It's because I have a group of people that put their intentions into the same words. And I say this vowel means this. That vowel is a frequency. But that frequency has a symbol, and we call it this. We call it that. We call it that. And that's what that is, family. So languages also carry, which are a frequency. We write it out. This means Yah or Va. Yahe, Vahe, whatever, in Hebrew language, right? It doesn't look like it say that, but people believe it says that. And because people believe it says that, and they put their intention into the symbol, right? This symbol becomes Yahe, Vahe, right? Or Yehovah, or Jehovah, whatever people want to call, or Yahweh, right? I'm just throwing some words of God out there, right? Because people believe it. Your consciousness can make any symbol be what it's supposed to be. Because don't you guys know a secret that sometimes symbols evolve? People take symbols and they evolve the symbols because of people's intentions. And what one symbol means today, it may not have meant that same thing 10,000 years ago or even 200 years ago. You see what I'm saying? One thing that's meant for evil, some people use it for good. For example, Lord Ganesha holds up his hand like this, and he has a swastika in his hand. The Nazis took the swastika, flipped it around, and made it their own symbol. They made it their own symbol. And we know that the Nazis was getting down with some heavy occult occult stuff, family. So that's how I see it, and that's what I believe this whole thing is, family. All right, when it comes down to what deeper meaning of what symbols are.
You know what? I think that, and we spoke about it, and you just mentioned it, because people have, even with the word magic, and we'll touch on it, just hearing the word magic, oh, that's evil, or, or just like you said, most people associate Hitler with the swastika, so it's a bad thing, but not knowing all of these symbols, like you said, they have power. And it just comes back to the intention. And for an analogy for some of you, it's like being a superhero. You got powers that you can do certain things, but you can either do it for good or you can do it for bad, but you still got powers, right? And so I think it goes all with the intentions. Another thing that you mentioned, and it was just me throwing some stuff on the wall. So when we think about the energy, and like you said, when the 528 or the tornado, to get the tornado to evolve, because we know that's a lot of power moving there. Because I've been in a tornado and I lost everything in the house. It's it hit us, and that thing is not nothing to play with. And then it tore half our house, but took the whole neighbor's house. But the other part of that is understanding that we all are infinite consciousness awareness. We could it also be that we're all having our own construct. In other words, what I see is what I'm seeing, what you're seeing is what you're seeing. And could that tornado, because you had the energy and being able to control what's happening, it happened within your construct, that tornado moved. Now, I could have been 2 doors over, and because we in alternate realities that moment, it hit my house. And I'm just throwing some craziness out there because, we have all of this evolving now, and
absolutely.
You really don't know the energy levels and how these things are working, because obviously it's all energy now. We know that, and vibration. And so therefore everything is operating on a frequency, no different than you're on the radio station at 106, I'm on 107, and we're saying the same thing. But if they're tuned in at 107 and 106, they're not going to hear it. And they're not hearing the same thing either when they tune back, on both. So the other part of that, when it comes down to, I'm getting a little more stickler when it comes down to corporate logos and entities and people understanding, again, that you just mentioned, that these sigil symbols, or we want to call them whatever, have power. Why do you think that, besides it being esoteric knowledge, I will assume maybe that's the answer, that most people don't incorporate the power of these things in their branding, their business, their everyday lives, to get the benefit, or not just the benefit, but to harness the energy and the vibration of what's given to all of us? Why don't they do that?
And I would say people definitely don't do that because people don't realize you live in an occultic world. And if they can keep us stuck in religion, right? If they can keep us stuck in these religious societies and stuff like that, that dumbs us down to what's really happening. One thing I remember years ago, I revealed to my mother that, hey, mama, don't you know pharmaceutical means sorcery and witchcraft?
Mm-hmm.
And I showed her, she couldn't believe it, and then her pastor ended up saying it years later when she lived in Memphis, Tennessee. So even the medicine we take have logos and symbols. Even the barcodes is a symbol, right?
Right.
And all these things, so the TV you watch, the bed you lay in has symbols on it. Everything, you live in an occult world where everything has symbols attached to it, because they don't want us knowing how to control our power. They want to control our life. They want to control the narrative. They want to control your consciousness. They don't want you knowing the truth about magic. And because they scare us away with, everything's voodoo. Well, it's all voodoo until you understand what it is. And then you realize all the ancients practice magic, right? The shamans and all the people they call the medicine woman. There's no difference between the medicine woman who was in the back, who they call the root woman, just putting together herbs and spices to heal somebody, and then the guy with the lab coat doing the same thing. He just looked cleaner doing it. He's doing the same thing. Truth is, the lady who was mixing snake venom and sea salt together, or whatever she was mixing, she's actually going to try to heal you. She's going to try to help you. The doctors today, who knows what they really doing with the stuff? You know what I'm saying? We have to think about these things. So without a shadow of a doubt, people don't use these things in their logos and stuff like that because they don't understand. They're afraid of it. I would say, first of all, they're afraid of it. And then the second thing is they don't understand the power behind it. That it could. This is a power symbol. All you gotta do is look at this and everybody know what this means without it's being spelled out. That's how powerful the symbol is. It doesn't even have to be, everybody know this means New York, but it doesn't say New York. This is what you call a sigil. They created a sigil out of the N and the Y, put it together, and nobody has to, it doesn't even have to say New York. Everybody psychologically know it means New York, right?
Yeah.
So and I want to touch on something else you said earlier. Could it be that people with a certain mindset or certain energy are creating these tornadoes as a construct? And I believe that 100%, my brother, because that's something I talked about years ago, where I said that tornadoes usually go towards people with a lot of negative energy, right? I'm not saying that person is negative. I'm saying that the environment you live in could have some negative, depressed, very low vibratory. It could be a serial killer running around. It could be people who hurt children. It could be anything happening in your vicinity, but you live in your own world where your world is great, but people around you could be mentally suffering, and they can create these constructs so that these people can be grateful for what they have. Well, when a person's depressed, a person's been through traumas, they got issues going on, they're not happy with the world. They hate the world. So sometimes creator allows, because y'all got to remember, go get a book called Secret Teaching of All Ages. Then they say some very good truth in there. And they say that the Catholic Church took elementals and called them demons, right? So some elementals are good, some elementals are bad. So why am I saying that? A tornado is nothing but what you call a negative elemental. That's why it spins counterclockwise, right? It's a negative elemental, right? And inside of and people have seen faces in these things before, but it comes with destruction. So what I'm saying is tornadoes and hurricanes are divinely sent. Some of them are created by our government. We know that for sure, but certain ones are divinely sent to make people grateful. So they'll have something to be grateful for. So yes, to answer that question, we do create these constructs. That's why every magician, every spiritual person, every light worker, every star seed, whatever you want to call yourself. We have work to do. If you live in an environment, you need to be cleansing that environment. And it may take time, right? Because the area I just moved to, I only been here a year. This month will be a year I've been in this area. I'm still doing work over here. So, but the more work you do, the energy expands, and the frequency changes the atmosphere, right? And I'll say this last thing, and I'll let you say what you got to say, brother. But when I moved from my old house, my wife is the living witness to this. We never had an issue over there. It was quiet, always nice. I took down my last, and this is the truth. I took the last spiritual picture I had hanging up in my house. It was my crystal charger, right? Y'all know, some of y'all know who that is who bought my digital products. I took that thing down, and when I took it down, it was a man helping me take apart my weight set. So he's helping me take it apart. All of a sudden, we hear screaming and yelling outside. We go outside. It's a guy walking up and down the street saying he's gonna kill everybody. I've been in Houston since 2022, right? I've never had an issue. Been outside late at night, took out the garbage. Never been outside no more. There's always been peaceful. Neighbors wave. All of a sudden, there's this young black kid running out. I mean, literally within 3 minutes of me taking it down, he gonna kill everybody on the street. Come to find out, he was really mad at somebody down the street, but he wanted to kill everybody for that. So I'm looking at him to see if if he's talking to me or what's going on. He looked past me. He just yelling, "Oh, I'm killing everybody." Wow, this is crazy. Next thing you know, the police come over here and he started running the SWAT looking for him. This was nuts. That gets handled, family. All of a sudden, the guy who's helping me with the weight stuff, a dog comes and trying to bite people on the street. I got a video of this, by the way. Here comes a dog. Never had a dog try to bite nobody in the street. This is what I'm saying all this to say, family. The symbols you put up in your house create an atmosphere, whether you believe it or not. And for those of you who are on my Patreon channel, y'all know I teach y'all some, and my tribal members, you guys know I taught y'all certain techniques that you can do to expand the energy and clear the energy out in the space. This needs to be done. Why do I tell y'all to do this every month? So that the energy, as the light, your light is shining. You're expanding the positive forces out. So now, after about 2 years of living in your area, you done did so much work. The bubble is bigger. There's no tornadoes coming your way. There's no negative energy in your area. It's all being pushed out. These are the things you guys need to understand and do. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Hey, well, you know what? You made it clear because it is real. It's real stuff when you start thinking about, again, the word magic and magical, Hollywood, Holly Tree, the whole world, the magic is happening. When you start thinking about the power in the words of what we do. And of course, I've been studying, and I'm going to do a lot of it here, gematria and the numbers, the numbers and words, it's everywhere in the news. You can predict events. And I'm like, this cannot be true. It just cannot. But when you start thinking about the 26 and spell, and the power of that is a 26, comes to a 26 in gematria, which is a God number, right? It's all these things that is hidden to us. And I think what most people don't realize, that occult, even the word scares a lot of people, but all it is from Latin meaning hidden, not to know. This is why you have occults out there, because they're hiding information. And and for example, I have a little cousin, and I used to tell him, he comes over to the house, and he was young, and it was time for a lesson, and I was trying to tell him, his dad was, fixed the air conditions and stuff. And I was like, dude, anytime people know what you don't know, you in a situation where you can be controlled, especially in any of these situations. And he didn't really understand it. And I said, well, let me tell you something. I'm a resourceful guy, but the reason I call your father to come fix my air condition, and the reason I pay him, because he knows something I don't know. Because if I knew how to fix it, I would do it myself, or maybe not for time. But the whole point is, you got to get to a point where you can understand these things and make a self-correction in life, self-correction through your family wealth, all of this stuff by drawing in, but not being afraid of occult, hidden, esoteric knowledge, because everybody's operating, not everyone, but most people are operating on a exoteric instead of esoteric, right? And so I think, for where we are today, and especially when it comes down to symbolism, symbols. So I'm going to take us in this direction real quickly. So as most people have been knowing that this, and me and you talked about this, I gave you several versions before I activated it and doing what I was doing. You know, a long time ago, I felt that it was time for us to, or me personally, going down this journey to not just get boxed in and saying, okay, we're talking about aliens, because you have a lot of more knowledge and you're learning, and the Pandora's box is open, especially for people who just think they're just flying around their UFOs. It's demonic stuff, you know, it's a lot of stuff. Even when I was out in Oregon, a lady told me, be careful. It's not just aliens. There's a demonic side to this, and spirits and deities, and you need to protect yourself. That's our message to you. At the same time, telling me for the fourth time that this is my last time here. And the third or second and first, I was like, what the hell? Now I get what they're saying, but you know, that means I got some unfinished business too, right? But the whole point is, it is time. It is time for us to do this. And so, unbeknownst to people, you know, I did my little thing. I started putting it on the Truth Seeker shirts, you know, the ones that buy them and sending them out, because I'm protecting them whether they want to or know it or not, because we're entering into a place, as long as I'm providing you unchanted and occult knowledge, then you're going to need some protection, because now that you know. So to not get them to adapt to it, it is, all right, let's just send this out. It's harmless, but it's activated with power and everything else. And it brings me to the thought real quickly. Again, we're going to be here next week, but also for all of you that's in my chat, that's in the Dallas area, especially Mia and a couple of other ones. Him and I is going to be doing a bunch of events here in Dallas as well. You know, just later on, so let y'all know. So we do need to put a team there together, and he has his tribe in Houston, but here in Dallas, to assist me on some of that. Mia, we already been talking about venues and stuff, but if anyone else are here, you know, to kind of assist that here in the Dallas area, reach out, contact at whythebigsecret.com. Don't do it if you're not understanding the word commitment. Okay.
Absolutely.
Do not do it if you do not if some came up, or if your life is busy, stay busy. I mean, because you need to take care of your stuff. But if you got time to give back to others, then I welcome you, because we're going to need a commitment. And real quickly, the lesson on commitment is, if you own a farm and you have chickens and pigs out there in your yard, and you're going to have breakfast, one of those animals is committed to the breakfast. Just think about that. So that's a commitment. All right. So, but the whole point is this. Let's just say we're now in the point of, okay, I'm going to use my life example. Now I have my sigil. I have the power of it. You know, I take symbols that, like the fasci symbol, which in government is a negative connotation because of fascism. But it was also meant for collaboration, people working together in unity, and with the power of God on their side with the axe handle. I have it there because it's time for us to collaborate, and you and I and other people were doing this. When it came down to the upside down triangle, it's not only for wisdom, integrity, and water is the sacred place where hidden information is. But let's go into, it is me, I called you, and I need to activate this with magic. What would be your advice there?
Okay, absolutely. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at a person's symbol and see what they got working with. You know what I'm saying? So, like, prime example, the symbol is that we're looking at, truth versus authority. That upside down triangle. You guys heard me talk about a live stream a few days ago when I talked about a 6-pointed star, and that upside down triangle also represents the water, like you said, and also represents the moon, right? The moon energy, that lunar energy, astral energy, right? So that's a lot. So the fact that he has the I inside there activates it even deeper, right? And then the X in there, right? We know that when you get into the feminine energy and the water energy and the moon energy, you get into what they call the unknown, right? The unknown energy. The X also represents the unknown, right? So what that symbol has a hidden meaning behind it, even deeper, right? But once I see the elements inside somebody's logo or symbol or sigil, whatever they want to do, Then I'm going to tell them to activate it, and that you can activate things in many ways. Depending on a person's energy level, you can look at it. You can look at it and you can burn it up, actually. Send it to the astral plane. And that will be one way it can be activated. You can put your hand over it and breathe and imagine. Remember, breath is prana, breath is chi. And every time you breathe in, you can imagine the energy going through your chest, through your hands, and into the symbol, right? You can tell the symbol what you want it to do and tell it that it's activated. Imagine glowing light around it. You can look at it and put your intention into it as well. Some people put it to the middle of their forehead where their third eye is. But you can just look at the symbol and put your intention into it. And if this is group setting, is even better. But you can put your intention into it and imagine it glowing while you're talking to it. Why do I say imagine? Well, we've been taught that, and this is one way they block you, why people don't use more occult symbols in their stuff, in their businesses. Because they block us and they teach us to not believe in magic, right? And they say, hey, imagination, that's a child's thing. You're just imagining it. It's not real. Then why did Albert Einstein say imagination is more powerful than knowledge? Albert Einstein said that. He was considered one of the most smartest persons in the world. It's because he knew something, right? Nikola Tesla talked about imagination. He talked about numbers, right? He talked about things that regular scientists don't really talk about, right? And that's why these people were able to invent and go far beyond, because they were more into the metaphysical. So by looking at it and imagining glowing light, I want to tell y'all the truth. It's actually glowing, whether your physical eyes see it or not. It's because you imagined it. When you imagine it, it becomes real in the astral plane. And remember, the astral world is just a reflection of what's going on in the physical, but it happens there first. So what I'm saying is, on a deeper level, if it happens, if you're imagining it, it's happening in the astral plane. And if it's happening in the astral plane, it's reflecting into the physical world. It's happening in the physical world. The magical kingdom in Disney World. Some of y'all heard this stuff before, but there's some new people on here. We're going to make sure they get this too. The magical kingdom in Disney World. Magi Nation. Magi Nation means the magical kingdom. So Disney World, Walt Disney, who was an occultist, he uses mouses and uses his symbols. He even puts Mickey Mouse in a sorcerer robe or a wizard's robe, right? And he called and that's the most amazing thing. One of the biggest parks, the magical kingdom, which means imagination, right? And he plays and uses the energy of children's imaginations and look how big Walt Disney is today, from just using imagination. So that's what I want you guys to think about. And that's how you would charge your symbols.
Well, I did it with fire, and let me tell y'all the power. Now, just as he mentioned, the upside down triangle also is water, the blue integrity, and then the blue chakra for our voice and talking. All these colors was done on purpose. I mean, I went through a lot. The other part is the two fish that I put there, and it's not because I'm a Pisces, and I am, but the fish represent the animals before man would have apparatus, was the only animal that could access sacred information that was hidden under the water. They can go down and get it. And so back in ancient times, they was known to be able to go. And if you think about it, it gets a little deeper. Before we had submarines, UFOs and aliens and visitations been here for eons. We know that. That's how ancient probably knowledge was taught. All of these pyramids. One place that they knew to hide that we could never go was under the water. They knew that because without some type of apparatus, which wasn't probably invented back then, that was the most hidden place, and of course underground, but underwater. And that's why 90% of them come out of water now. But the whole point, fish had access to get to that sacred information. I want to say that. So when I did activate my sigil, I had it right here on this table. I had a little candle. I did it. And the power of this is real. I go outside out here in the driveway, and I take this match, or I had a lighter, and I blew it up on a big piece of paper. And my intention was to set it on fire. And I did, but just so happens the flame, I didn't really notice it, but it started right in the middle of that eye. Boom, in the middle of my paper, and it just burned evenly. And I was like, what the fuck? Oh, and right then I knew I was on to something there, you know, because I'm like, this is some higher force at work. It is going on. And just as much as he talk about it, that's why it's in this circle for protection. And that eye is on my third eye. So it's open at all time. It's sitting right there, you know. But it's having planning that. And that's something that I plan on doing, is helping our inner circle and people create their protections for their families, you know, their shields for wealth, you know, all of these things that the wealthy people have done for years. We think they just got these little emblems and whatever. No, man, these things are for their family protection, and they got
family crest.
Yeah, their family crest. And they have done this stuff, you know, strategically to protect what they're doing. And yet, you know, we can't even give people our last names these days, right? You know, Batman and people together. You know what I'm saying? But the whole point is, it's power out there, people, and it's power that is sitting in plain sight, is being used for good and bad against us. They're harnessing it, but now as more awareness has come, it is time for you to begin to at least look into it. If any of you here got businesses and all of that, you know, I'm shocked to say that some of you got logos, and I've said it before. This is Starbucks. They are the world's leading coffee, whatever place, but there's more than just coffee. They create these places where everybody come in and get caught up in these open leg aromas, and their nose is out. They just whatever. But it ain't no coffee bean here. If somebody from another planet showed up, they probably know what it is from the ancient symbol, but they don't say coffee, you know, but they didn't do that. They didn't do that. They didn't say we're going to put some coffee bean or Columbia or something on it. They knew to use the power to draw it in, to subconsciously control and build their empire based on ancient human knowledge. Same thing with Pepsi and everyone else. So we're going to be doing stuff like that. We're going to do seminars and, you know, just open foreign events to teach people to do those things. And yeah, we're going to get shunned. Y'all know that. There's going to be people going to be like, oh, they talking about magic and all that bull crap, you know, and whatever. So be it. Let them go do that. But take your next generation and kids and children and lead them the right way to the knowledge that they suppose have already had, because we all are victims to it. We all have failed, you know, to a point where our children, where the most imagination is, the most best spirits, all of this stuff. And when they come in with their imagination, or they do something that we can't comprehend and it looks stupid from an adult, stop it, or just do what you told. I said so, because I said so. We are falling into the trap of reprogramming our children not to be accessible into the stuff that they're supposed to have, because they did it to us. And that's why I talk about truth versus authority. And I said plain and simple, I don't care, and I'm not here to offend anyone, but your big mama, big papa, pastor, cousin, just because what they say may not be the authority, you know, because they said it, because you got to understand, where did they get this information from? Where are they getting their ideology from? Where are their vibrations illuminating from? Where are they? Have their now experience of life has been beat down so bad that they're now vibrating so low, but they misery need company. You get what I'm saying? Or all of these things. So the fact that truth is the truth, and authority, there's good authority as well, but there's some bad authority out there, people. And they are not playing games when it comes down to controlling the human system in their benefit. And the ultimate key is the mind. And if they can keep that mind way down here and keep us, you know, tied into what's going on TV, or what's going on football or basketball, or again, all this bad news or entertainment, you know, they know this, you know, and they put that into the music industry, all of this stuff. They got to keep the minds distracted. And we already know how hard it is to just sit there and try to meditate before you either get sleepy or you thinking about something else. That's programming. You got to get that silent place. We got to get to a point where we can focus, not here, but in the other realm.
Can I say something real quick, brother?
Go ahead. I'm done.
Yeah. So this is a medallion that I sell on my website.
I'm beating you to all that.
Yeah. You got some. I'm blessed, brother Roddy. Yeah.
I'm gonna be. Look, I was gonna show him all that. So you go ahead and tell him.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I want to tell a story about a testimony that actually just happened with this.
I'm not gonna
last week,
story, but you go ahead.
So this is a medallion I sell. I'm actually gonna be putting them back up soon. So everybody just hold their horses. Stuff go fast sometimes. But this is the one I'm always going to be selling, right? There's an older version, there's a bigger version of this, but this is a smaller version.
I keep that in my bag.
Same power, family. Same power. So this is called the Divine Radiance Medallion. This has something around it called the Taurus field, right? And then in the center, there is something called the Gayatri Mantra, right? The Gayatri Mantra is extremely protective and extremely powerful. And the Taurus field is going to help replicate the energy over and over and over. So I knew what I was doing when I put these two, because I study symbols, right? I knew what I was doing when I put these two together. A brother contacts me last week. And if he's on here, shout out to you, brother. Thank you for sharing this testimony. I appreciate it. He's a police officer. I talk to police officers, firefighters, even people in the government, believe it or not. A police officer wears this medallion every day under his uniform. He told me he was chasing an individual. And, you know, they was chasing the guy. The guy stopped his car, hopped out the car. Immediately, the guy starts thinking this guy might have a gun. But by the time he thinks that, the guy is already out the car, right? So the guy gets out the car, and the guy said he looks at him and just stares at him for a second. Doesn't move. Like he's processing something or something's going on, and then the guy just takes off running. So he said, okay, that's weird. So they caught the guy later. The guy ended up having an AK-47 on him, stuck down the side of his pants, right? And he wears this thing as a shield of protection, okay? Now, of course, it would have broke my heart. This man would have got shot wearing my medallion. But I know my stuff works. I know that these symbols, family, and it ain't just this symbol, it's symbols people can create themselves. Symbols work, right? And he wore the symbol, he had faith in it. And at a time when he could have needed the most, and he's a father, from what I understand, he could have lost his life. The man looked at him and froze, couldn't do nothing. He just took off running. And when they caught him later, the man ended up having it was either an AR-15 or an AK-47 stuck down the side of his pants or something like that. He had it on him. He could have killed this guy. He wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? So this is the testimony I just received. And thank you for that, sharing that testimony, because I'm glad to hear when my stuff works and that people share the testimony. So he knows without a shadow of a doubt, it was his medallion he was wearing. Because, you know, officers get killed all the time. They get shot all the time. And he knows that he was being spiritually protected by the medallion. So I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Powerful story. I mean, I have my own, but I'm gonna keep that private, you know. But I think it's pretty, you know, with the protection, right? So I think it's gonna have to not so much just believe. You just kind of know it's your right of having access to that esoteric protection, right? People needs to know that. Let me do a quick 30-second house cleaning, guys. Let's go with this real quick.
They say ignorance is bliss. But what if the truth is far more terrifying than anything you could imagine? The world is a stage, and we are merely pawns in their game. They control the narrative, and they manipulate your thoughts. They watch your every move. But who are they? The ones who lurk in the shadows. The ones who pull the strings. The ones who feast on your fear. Are you ready to break free?
All right, y'all. So that video is the prelude to this particular new ebook that I have out, and it's called The Shadows of Deception. And you can go to shadowsofdeception.com/ebook. Download it. This is put together for all these people who really need to bring in everything. I took a compilation of all of the secrets from the UFOs to aliens to reptilians. It's easy read. It's about 100 something pages, but everything with photographs to bring you up to speed to all of this stuff. And so every page is a different issue, maybe. And so I think it's time for people to really get brought up to speed on this. And I'm calling it deception because that's their whole game, is to get us deceived on what we see. So make sure you guys support the show and do that and get you a copy of that. Also, give out your website real quick, and I'll have my moderators put that in the chat as well.
Yeah, it's www.newlyfe tools, newlifetools.org. It used to be a lot longer, but we changed it to the .org. So newlifetools.org, and if you for some weird reason you can't get in through there, you can type in newlifetoolstribalministries.com. Okay, newlifetoolstribalministries.com. You can go there to check out some stuff. Also, I have another website for my tribe. We do sell other things on there. We sell classes on there. So KEOWEE ministry. Let me see. KEOWEE ministries.org. So KEOWEE ministries.org. You can find some of my classes on there. I have a class on there about the inner earth. I have a class on there. Cyber sorcery is up there. One of my brothers who I did a lecture with years ago, Brother Dreamwise, I got my portion of the class up there from the Mystic Mind and the Master Student Conference stuff up there as well. So you guys can check that out. And yeah, newlifetools.com.
All right.
Or .org, excuse me.
Yeah, .org. It's in the chat there, so y'all definitely go and click it. There's 2 links there as well, so the moderators have put it up. Thank y'all for doing that. One of the things, I saw a question, someone's talking about symbols and what's bad, want to stay away from. I think my answer to that will be you have to really figure out who is attached to, because we mentioned it earlier that you can run into the symbol. So for example, there can people that I have this water symbol, you can run up to it and knowing that it's the feminine side, it's to calm people down. Number one, it is really why it's used in traffic as the yield sign, because you got to get somebody's mind to yield, for ongoing traffic. Otherwise, road rage with some of the attitude people have these days. But if you saw this and the person walked up and, he had some, I don't know, maybe you're out fishing and he comes up in a boat, he looking all weird, he got a water sign. He could have the energy of saying he's going to drown you. Water is his, he's going to pay homage to water, and he need to do a sacrifice to water. You get what I'm saying? You got to
never know.
You got to pay attention to him and say, like, he's wearing that symbol, but he's also carrying a hatchet. Oh boy, that may be a whole different story. So it's just one of those things, because it's the intention of it. I think the ultimate key is to begin to, and we're going to do this starting in about 2 weeks. I'm going to go through every basic, the circle, the square, the line, the triangle. Most of all of these are the architect to a lot of these symbols. So if you begin to learn the knowledge of the basics, then you can begin to piece the story together based on what you see. So for example, this has a circle, 2 things. It either traps somebody in or keeps something out. For me, it's keeping stuff out. But when you got witchcraft, they're putting it around you to keep it in. So it's the intention on what is happening when it comes down to that. So I think that's something, a good question there for people to think about pretty much. All right, so someone said my moderator. So give out your second website again. They said they typed it in wrong.
Yeah, KEO, and also Sister Righteous, one of my moderators, my other channel, she can put it in here too. You guys can look at her thing; she'll put it in here too, or somebody else. But it's KEOWEE Ministries, all one word, .org. So it's spelled KEOWEeMinistries.org. KEOWEE Ministries.org. And for a donation of whatever price the class costs, you can have that class and enjoy yourself, get some good information from those things, and support our tribe at the same time.
Hey, there you go. And just like as always, this is a community funded show. Y'all know that. So there is a banner going down if you want to support the show. If you found any value tonight, and whatever that value means to you, support the show. The Cash App is Cash App at Why the Big Secret. And I think people don't. We're not going to go deep into it, but the more knowledge and more things we do, the support is needed, and I get it.
I want to say this real quick, brother. They got newlifetools.com in there. There's actually newlifetools.org.
Okay, so all right. So whoever got the .com in there, y'all erase it. I see the org and pretty much. So all right. Yeah, so it's .org. Oh yeah, Maya. So Maya, you might want to change yours to .org. Okay.
Thank you.
.org. Yeah. And so again, if you find value tonight, y'all can support the show there. And pretty much, we got about another 25 minutes left, and we'll get into some more deep things real quickly. Someone asked, if symbols can be unbalanced, and no, they're just going to be intentional, and that intention is going to take it wherever. And how strong of intention or a number of people adding that vibration and power to it, it's going to get powerful and powerful and powerful and powerful. This is why you got occult rituals and secret societies. They're doing their rituals. They keeping and perpetuating the power of this stuff and the meanings, but yet they keep it, again, a secret because it's, of course, Illuminati just mean illuminated one, right? You have natural laws. I think a lot of people don't understand it. We're going to discuss that as the weeks to come. Natural laws is the laws that nobody can escape, and no matter what it is, but it's the simple things. But the Masonry and Freemasons, they study natural laws and they use it to their advantage. And yet we don't, from the law of vibration, plurality, there's laws that you just can't get around. And once you begin to understand that, then you can then harness the power. And I keep using the word power because of the whole thing. And there's nothing better saying what I say without having the greatness of Jordan Maxwell, who I'm just learning so much from, some things that he says, and pretty much. And I'm going to play a 43-second clip of him. It's part of our DNA of why we're here and what we're doing. And it is something very important for everybody to keep in mind as we move through our journey in 2025 and beyond.
Live in peace and harmony. I think we're being set up for something very serious and very big by some very powerful secret societies that very well could have extraterrestrial or otherworld intelligence guiding it. I am very fearful for the world we live in because we bought it hook, line, and sinker, and all over the world we have accepted the authority as truth rather than truth as the authority. It is going to require intellect, knowledge, study, and making a stand for the first time not to accept the things which your government gives you, which your religions give you, and which the authorities give you. Because as far as I'm concerned, I have a very big problem with anyone called an authority, because they're always...
All right, so that is the greatness of Jordan Maxwell, and in here, this is well protected. I got another one in a safe deposit box. Last week or 2 days ago, I hinted to at least 10 of you that really wanted to get in, or if you're going to start your podcast or whatever, to reach out to me. This is a knowledge bank of 20,000 ebooks, audios, and 3,500 video. We can't, a person singly cannot go through this and find the knowledge, but if we can put our outliers together. Now, there will be a contribution, and it is going to be serious to you to think about it, to be a part. In here also is over 100 Jordan Maxwell video stuff you will never see again in public ever. Just some of the top people and minds and things that you just won't see. So far, there's been about 4 of you, 5, and we have room for 5 more. So contact at whythebigsecret.com. Again, it will be you have to have a hard drive, 2 terabytes SSD, and we want this thing to be you need to take it seriously. So you need the ones that's protected from water, all because you will never find this information anywhere again, and they do not want this out anywhere. And so this is about $200 by itself. So you already know you're starting there if you make the call, and you will send it to me. And if you send me anything other than this, I'm going to send it back to you, because that means you are not caring about what we're really trying to do here. But anyway, it's not for everybody, and it may not be for anybody on here at all. But if you do hear me and you are supposed to, when the teacher's ready, I mean, students ready, the teacher will appear with the information for you. All right. So we got about 20 more minutes. Is there anything in particular that, you know, that's happening? Let's talk about some real world stuff today. And we can touch on a little bit, we're not going to touch on the Jay-Z and Puffy stuff, but let's talk about the symbolism that's going on behind the scene with all of these rappers and TV people in Hollywood. Because for a minute, I thought there was a lot of good people in Hollywood that was, you know, sending messages maybe for us to figure out, and they could still get away with it because, you know, the other people, the power is making money with them. So they're not going to really, and they know everybody's not going to see it. But when I start watching movies lately, and I'm going to be breaking a lot of them down, now it's just, because once you turn this on, you can't turn it off. You can just see it everywhere, right? It's like the Matrix code, okay? And I'm like, damn, these fuckers they're programming us even at the movie theaters. From the music, from the scenes, from the stuff that's in the background and numbers and symbols on the wall. We don't see it, but subconsciously it's there.
Right.
And I thought about the movie, The Planet of the Apes, this last one. And the story of it is so kind of crazy. If any of you seen it, just put it in the chat. If you remember this last Planet of the Apes, Caesar has been gone. And it's a new religion. Matter of fact, you know, Caesar and you know, but there is a new ape that's changing, you know, killing people in the name of Caesar. And it was one wise said, no, that's not what Caesar was about. It's almost like they did a religious story, because even when you think about it, they did the cross in the window. Remember Caesar when he was young, he drew that in the window when he was an ape. All of a sudden in this movie, it's worship as the cross everywhere. You know, that same symbol that he drew when he would just that window, because he used to look out of these 4 squares. So it's almost saying, like, look how and the apes is a representative of us. Y'all need to know that when they did these. And they're saying, look how y'all believe religion, that you don't even know the origin, but yet you're worshiping a cross like they were doing. All hell this and blah, blah, blah. And the idea had changed. And it was just so symbolic the way they was doing this movie. And I thought, they're talking to us. You know, they're talking to us. This story evolved all the way over here. And then they also put in the fasci. If y'all remember that when Caesar first back then broke their little stick, remember in front of the other thing, he says one ape they can break, but together, you know, we're stronger together, right? So that's why I have it here as well, because I think if we collaborate, we're going to be stronger together. All of a sudden, though, in this particular thing, it became a whole nother reason, but they showed you the Roman past. Remember, every time that ape conquered another village, they all became under his rule. That's the symbol of fascism back then, and that's what we deal with now. So these movies are in plain sight. They're saying stuff. Some of them could be. And I even thought about it. I think you and I talked about it. I said, you know, my new documentary company, I want to do documentaries and start putting hidden messages in there, but to enlighten us, right? And do that. But what do you think about that from mainstream, from these rappers? You know, of course, they in plain sight. And I think a lot of them holding up shit and they ain't even part of it, because some of these guys are not part of the Illuminati and all that, because they are not letting everybody in this inner circle. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, I think people got to understand on a deeper level that the world you live in is a stage. Everybody's playing an actor, they're playing something, but the play itself is a religion. So what I'm really saying is the whole world you live in is a religious thing. And let me explain what I mean by that.
Right.
Masonry, right? When you deal with masonry is a religion. But we know that when you deal with masonry, on the bottom of every society or city or township, the Masons run it. You know what I'm saying? Skull and Bones, you know, and I'm not saying that masonry is bad. I'm just saying that these things are religious. You know, if you want to get ahead of society, that's what some people do. They join Masons, right? Then you got other, whether it's the Bilderberg group, collateral the Bilderberg Group, Council of Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission. These are religions. These are religions, right? The Democrats, the Republic. These are religions, family. And everybody has something to do inside their religion, but there's somebody steering. There's one main savior or one main person steering these certain religions. Hip hop is a religion. It's a culture. And I just shared that with my tribe the other day. Some people don't know there's an actual church of hip hop.
Yep.
They got a hip hop church. You know what I'm saying? So hip hop can be seen as a religion. Now, the religion I'm talking about with hip hop is not what goes on in the music industry, because that's more of a vampiric, demonic group of people that control. That's their religion. Satanism is a religion, right? On different levels. You got the Church of Satan, which is play school. It's gonna keep it real, right? That's play stuff. That's a religion, isn't it? But when you got real Satanism, that's beyond the Church of Satan. You get more into the Osirian mysteries, and that gets deeper into what Satanism really is, you know. And we know Osiris lost body parts, and it deals with the blood and people dying and coming back to life, and all vampire. A lot of it's vampiric stuff. So, and I'm not saying that that's bad either, right? I'm just giving you guys something to think about. So what I'm saying is this is a religion, and certain people, some part of their religion is to watch certain people to see how these certain people act, and then make a religion out of that. Filming, the movie industry is a religion, right? Acting, once again, the world stage. They always tell you what they're going to do before they do it. Why? Because they put it in a movie. They put it on the stage, right? So they tell you without telling you, because it's a universal law. They have to tell you something. But people don't, because people are, once again, they're not into the occult. They're not into metaphysics. They don't know the symbols to look at. You know what I'm saying? Because Planet of the Apes was definitely about religion, just like you said. And it's about the evolution of religion. Yep. And to the point where the apes, their new religion will become technology, right? When they become technological apes, right? So this Caesar thing is happening. And you see, even when they start out, they had to have a tribe, right? And they were a tribal group, and Caesar was trying his best to keep everybody together. But there's always one knucklehead in the tribe. You know what I'm saying? There's always one knucklehead that is going to try to sneak in there and do something behind the scenes and da-da-da-da-da. You know, that's how it is. And then things change, things grow. This shirt I'm wearing, y'all, X-Men. Some people know this, some people don't. Stan Lee came out and said that this was created after the Civil Rights Movement. X-Men was created from watching the Civil Rights Movement. Magneto is Malcolm X, and Professor X is Martin Luther King. And the X-Men, all these people, mutants, were representing the so-called black people in America. Stan Lee said this, right? He got this from watching from looking at people who deal with the Civil Rights Movement. So my whole thing is like, this is the world stage we're talking about, right? This is the world stage we're talking about. Everything is a religion, or it could be looked at as a religion. So there are secret religions, some societies, different spiritual orders, these are religions, y'all, right? Why do I call them religions? Because these group of people tend to do the same thing over and over and over. That's what a religion does, right? A religious person, they follow the same thing over and over and over. They do the same thing. That could be looked at as a bad way, or it could be looked at as in a spiritual way. Because when you perform a ritual, let's say you perform a ritual every full moon, you do a moon ritual. That's religious. You're constantly doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over, right? It's not insanity, because you're doing the same thing and expecting different results. No, because the moon magic is working, right? But it's when you constantly do things, it's a religion. It's a religion. It becomes a religion, family. And some people's job is to constantly destroy. Some people, part of their religion, say you were in the CIA or in the FBI. Your religion may be to throw people off, right? To cause distractions, give people something to talk about. Oh, it's 57 drones in the sky. Let's talk about the drones. And now today, nobody got nothing to say about the drones. It came in and went. And there's always agents on YouTube, on TikTok especially, that makes up videos, AI videos of the drones fighting the government. You know, it'd be crazy. You don't know what you're looking at half of the time. But this is the religion for some people. That's what I'm trying to say, family. So that's a very deep topic and a very deep thing to look at when you look at religion. Religion, there are religions that people are a part of and they don't even know they're part of.
Yep.
You know, going to work every day is a religion for some people. your goal is to go higher up in that job. That becomes a religion to some people.
Well,
So I just want to say that, family, so you guys have something to think about.
And that's why companies make sure they build a culture. They play on those words. They want to make sure you're in their religion. When you come to that office, that culture is what it is, or cult, if you know the root word, if you want to look at it. Another thing he mentioned about the Planet of the Apes and the technology, and the other caveat to that is what happens when those apes, which represent technology, do to the humans become slaves. So it's just a foreshadowing of what's happening, of course, with AI, all these things, and the power of all these things that we're coming into the future, and people are just not prepared for it when you look at these things. So, I think is the most powerful part, again, is going to be knowledge and everything else. And again, we're gonna come back next Friday, and we're gonna go deeper into a few things. So y'all make sure y'all come. Brother Yosef and I'll be here next Friday again, and then we're gonna make our big announcement that's limited for a few people. So you guys make sure you show up when you do from there. And for all of you who, again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel, go to his channel. My audience, y'all go to his channel. It's going to be a lot of collaboration and special things is going to be happening. Courtney is going to be assisting in some stuff from more of a psychic side when it comes down to these symbols and magic. And we're getting ready to put some stuff together that's going to not just blow you away. We're going to have our own magical Hollywood with the truth, though. Okay.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
yeah. We'll create our own ones, baby, that you're going to use for
there you go.
Yeah. And I think that's something that a lot of people are pretty much from there. For the part of these last few minutes, man, once again, I just want to thank you for being here tonight. And of course, we're talking, and then I think, I'll come on your show and some stuff. We'll do some stuff as well, and pretty much. But if you all are really got any questions real quick, y'all put them in the chat for these last 6 or 7 minutes. We'll try to answer a few of them for you, and just kind of throw them in the chat, and I'll pop them up on the screen. And pretty much. And then again, like I said, make sure y'all go to his websites and stuff. And real quickly, while they're putting the questions up, explain this to people.
Yes. So that, family, is what he's putting up, family, is this symbol right here, right?
Yep.
Which is the flower of life. Okay. This is a symbol, and that gives life. It literally, this symbol is so powerful until all you have to do is stick this to a piece of water, and the water will structure itself better. Just from sticking this symbol to water. And this is a very simple symbol. And remember, it has a certain level of protection to it. Absolutely. Yep. A field. This creates a field, family. And anytime something creates a field, I always taught you guys, a field is a shield. A field is a shield. So to a degree, this protects your life force, and it also creates life force from nothing. It can literally charge something with life force just by attaching it to it. Okay. That's what that is, family. So this is what you call the flower of life. It's a sacred geometry symbol. Very powerful symbol. I actually have this in my refrigerator on a gallon glass of it's a glass of a gallon of water. And I stick this to the glass. You know what I'm saying? And I have a sticker that I stick to the glass. You guys can try that, by the way. Take this symbol. You can get them on eBay, Etsy, whatever, and get you a sticker and get you about half a gallon or a gallon of glass and fill it up with water. The water of your choosing. It really don't matter what water, but I prefer you use some type of spring water or clean water. And, just this symbol on it. It's going to structure the water better. You're going to be able to taste the difference, family. Okay? You're going to be able to taste the difference. All right. So I want you guys to give that a try. And you'll notice the difference. Once again, this is the flower of life. And they got one that looks very similar to it called the seed of life. Okay. The seed of life. Also, I saw somebody was asking questions about the medallion, said they're sold out. Every time I put a couple more up, they sell out fast. So
they sell out. Yep.
I just put up some more, family. So there should be some more up tonight in the on the website, and you guys should be able to purchase some there. So yeah, that's what that symbol is, family. Very powerful symbol. But Brother Roderick Martin, he has something that's a little bit more advanced. What he has is something has shungite in it, and y'all know shungite is extremely powerful. It also structures water, and it also has iron inside of it, which is protective. Also adds another layer of positive frequencies, and it has a secret ingredient that I put. I'm the only, I put it in my stuff that nobody else does, but that's what that has in there, family, and it's very powerful. All right, some of you guys bought some at the cyber sorcery event. Them jokers, them things flow. I think I had 5 of them. They were gone.
They were gone.
They were gone. You know what I'm saying? And but you guys give me some time. I've got a lot of things coming up. So right around February-ish, I'm gonna have some new medallions, new everything. The website to be packed with a lot of stuff. I'm just working on a lot of things right now, family. So y'all just be patient with me, and we'll get those going.
Yeah, and another thing, I do things, to help our audience all the time, and the flower of life in that code is so powerful. I'm gonna show y'all something. Y'all see, this is this book. Make sure y'all get this book. But check this out. I'm gonna put something on my screen. Look, do y'all see that hidden flower of life sitting there on the screen that I have? That's powerful. Sending that to you all, and that's because I have it there. Let me bring him down, and I'll show y'all. So y'all see it, right? There you go. Because it's hidden there, but I keep it there so that we have our good vibes and whatever. But you won't see it when I move it, but it's there. But it's the whole point. Yeah, and so we have to protect ourselves. We have to do it as a collective. And if y'all haven't brought, I do the vibration water codes that I partner with some people on to, if you remember, I do that. In fact, I do have a quick video for that. Hang on, let me show them. And then
I want to say this real quick, if you don't mind, brother. That book you just showed was it's called the that book right there, The Way of Radiance. Just want to let you guys know real quick, because when you go on my website, you'll see it. So those symbols around there is my tribal symbols from my language. It means that right there means let there be light. So The Way of Radiance was written for beginners that's new on a spiritual path. Some of you guys have questions about what is a shaman, what really is a priest, what did the Egyptians do, what is a demon, what is an angel, and I answer those questions in there, and also give you a lot of things to think about starting out your journey, so you can walk away a path of radiance. So that's why I named it The Way of Radiance. It's like a beginner guide to another book I'm going to do in the future, but that's like a one-on-one. If you're new in your spirituality, you're looking to understand some things, then that's the book you can read, family.
Well, there you go. Y'all make sure y'all do that, and I'll show y'all a couple things when I last could reign in meaning here. Hang on a second. It's going to take y'all a second here.
Look at this. Water, simple, ordinary. But what if I told you it holds power to transform your life? Dr. Masaru Emoto proved it. Your thoughts and intentions can alter the very structure of water. Imagine turning this truth into a daily practice. Introducing the vibrational codes. These codes, combined with ancient sacred geometry, chakra alignment, and positive affirmation to infuse in your water, your food, even your spaces with the energy of love, prosperity, and healing. It's not magic. It's science meeting intention. The energy you need is already within you. Vibrational energy codes will help you unlock it. Download it now and start shaping your reality with the power of intention. Ready to awaken? Let's dive back into the video.
Look, it's just funny we got onto that. But anyway, y'all make sure y'all get you one of these badass boys. All right. Y'all get me? Y'all get y'all one. All right. So, brother, we got 1 minute. Any last words you want to say? And then I'll get you out and I'll close us out.
Yes, thank you, brother. I want to let the people know. I don't know what's going on my website right now, but I just went on there and it's blank. I don't know if everybody's getting that issue or not, but I will try to fix that tonight, family, so you guys can go on there. I'm not sure what's happening. But yeah, I just noticed when I go on there, it wasn't anything popping up. It could just be my computer. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, I think let me see. Either way, family, I'll have that up tonight so you guys can work on that. But look, family, study symbols, because it's something that you're going to need for your future, for your life. Yeah, it is my computer. My phone popping it up with no problem. So, but yeah, family, study symbols, family. That's what I want to say to you guys. Study symbols. Believe that the truth is that it doesn't matter if it's on plastic, wood, whatever. Symbols are so powerful. You can just put them on something. Now, don't get it wrong. If you add a certain element to it, like a certain type of oil or some other type of element, we'll get into that in another video. We won't give y'all all the sauce right now. But if you add other things to it, some of y'all know, because some people are my students on here, so they know what time it is, right?
Yeah.
But if you add things to it, it'll make it more powerful. But even if you just draw a symbol, I want everybody to go watch a TV show called Dressen, Dressen, The Detective Wizard. Dressen, The Detective Wizard. I think they only came out one season of it. Incredible show. In one of the episodes, I'm not going to spoil it for y'all, but there was a boy who needed protection, right? So this is a wizard. He has all kind of stuff, and he's a detective, but he's the wizard. That's the cool thing. So the boy said, "Look, I'm scared. Something's trying to get me." So the man takes a piece of paper. He draws a sigil, something I've never seen before in my life. He says, "Here, put this up there, and it'll protect you." The mom and him was like, "What?" But the little boy believed it. He put it up, and when the bad guys came, the symbol flashed in front of their face, and they jumped back. So if you guys get a chance, go watch that TV show. It's called Dressen, Detective Wizard. You're going to see that probably in the first episode. Very, very powerful magic in that show, and it deals a lot with symbols. So you guys can go check that out. But thank you guys. I appreciate you, Brother Roderick Martin, for having me on. I thank you guys for coming in. I want to say that too. And trust me, we got some incredible things coming up, family. Stay tuned in 2025. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, and we'll be back together next Friday, right? And you make sure y'all come. We're gonna have a little limited thing for a few of you to take part in. So make sure you hear it. When you hear it, you heard it. That's all I can say, brother. Thank you, and I'll talk to you a little later and give you a holler tomorrow.
Yes. Peace and blessings, everybody.
All right. Okay, so basically, we had a great show and some information, and we're just giving a sampling of things that we're going to be doing together and talking, but also educating this audience. So y'all know I'm live streaming once again Monday through Friday. So you guys going to know that. So make sure you hit at 8 o'clock so we get started right at 8 o'clock. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, there you go. But Monday through Wednesday, Friday, we will be here. Live streaming and everything else. If you want those sacred water codes and stuff, the link is in the description that you can in the video here, or Why the Big Secret /merch. So make sure you hop on and do that. Thank you for all of you that found it in your heart and you found value tonight and you sent through the Cash App. I really appreciate you and appreciate your support. And for those who gave from where you gave to what you gave, it all means a lot, and appreciate it, because it's what we do, and this is how we bring the truth to everyone, whether it's products, services, or just main people that's showing love to what they're getting from the value. With that being said, though, it's been a plum pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. And to my haters, if you're here tonight, you can hate me without knowing me, but I can still love you without ever meeting you. And I do love you from there. But if you've been here a few times hating on me, you're really a fan. You're just critical. And I still love you. And you love me and all that. So with that being said, I want each one of you give your families a hug tonight. Know that this stuff is real, that we got to protect ourselves and we got to work together. Peace and love, each and every one of you.
Peace and harmony. I think we're being set up for something very serious and very big by some very powerful secret societies that very well could have extraterrestrial or otherworld intelligence guiding it. I am very fearful for the world we live in because we bought it hook, line, and sinker, and all over the world we have accepted the authority as truth rather than truth as the authority. It is going to require intellect, knowledge, study, and making a stand for the first time not to accept the things which your government gives you, which your religions give you, and which the authorities give you. Because as far as I'm concerned, I have a very big problem with anyone called an authority, because they're always...